Our project is for Ovative Group. They are a digital media consultant firm, and we made a online A/B testing calculator suite for them. Quick overview about the project. We did a single-page React web application to perform statistical tests from based on their Excel sheets calculator. We have education components from the put into the web application based off their Excel calculator to help people learn about the calculations and what they mean. We have updated documentation for the web page, and we have input validation for the calculator fields so people can't mess them up. And because it's an online web application, we have ensured that it's scalable. So if they want to add on to it, they can very easily.
So the main need for this project was that the current Excel suite that they were using had some very not the best UI for its users. There was issues with the input and output being very complicated, as you can see in the example. All of the input fields are spread out. You can only tell them by the color, but that can be confusing to new users. It was also harder to parse the data for inexperienced users since they have to the zoom on the original, you have to slide it around, you have to scroll down to find the actual outputs that you're desiring. It has lack of a simple view that they put a huge emphasis on, where the data is always there. And so in our implementation, we have it where you can only view the simpler data for non-statistically informed users, or you can view all the information available. And since it's a locally based Excel sheet, whenever they want to share it to a new employee or to a new device, they would have to send over the file. And if there's ever an update, everyone would need to download the new thing compared to a online hosted website. And as for our solution, as you mentioned, it's a single page React based web page. And it allows usage of the different calculators without having to load new pages. As you can see on the picture at the bottom, there are the four tabs. They easily cycle through them. They're the same layout, so it's ease of use. There's the MUI library allows for the front end organization, which we use for most of our styling and components, the accordions, all the tooltips. And we use GitHub as our main repository for version control through Visual Studio Code mostly.
All right, we're gonna do a quick demo. So this is the continuous post test page. You can enter some number, or yeah, so enter in some numbers so you can see how it works. Right now, you can see the test is inconclusive because we haven't really entered much in that I can use yet. And as you can see, these fields are slowly updating as I'm entering in new values. And we have tooltips here for each one to show, I guess, explain to users what these fields actually mean. There we go. With this confidence level slider. And as you can see, this just updated. So from test inconclusive to statistically significant. So basically, all this means is that the test was useful and uh, they can be done with testing their product. We got some other um, information here that explains more to the user what's going on here. We also have a little output saying if the test needs to be continued. If I increase this so it becomes inconclusive, it updates that. Just gonna bring it back. And then down here we have our education modules, which have all the formulas used, notations for all of the inputs here. We have just more information about what's going on up here and what's necessary for the test to be complete. We also have kind of an explanation of how the testing process works and how we derive whether or not this test is statistically significant or inconclusive. And we also have some definitions for a lot of the fields up there. Just going to show you some of the other calculators too. This is the continuous pretest, which would most likely be done before the post-test, obviously. And we already have some values entered in here. Here are the outputs. This is the binomial pretest. Once again, already inputted some values. Here are the outputs. And we have the binomial post tests all entered in these. We have some placeholder values here just for users to be able to know exactly what they need to enter, what it should look like. You can slide this. As you can see, that updates from no significant difference or not conclusive to statistically significant, meaning it's a valid test that works. And again, more information for the users right here. And yeah, information on the additional days and some stats users may want to know here. And again, we have more information on formulas, oh, um, parameters, and explaining the notation of these. Again, what's necessary for the calculus to work, and some other information here on the hypothesis testing. That's all.